Hi, I'm Lindsay, and today we are making guacamole, Aztec for avocado sauce. The most important part of making guacamole is finding the right avocado, not too firm or too squishy. They are full of fat, but it's the good, energy-fueling kind. Some people even use them on runs. Avocado is a good source of vitamins A, B, C, and E, as well as fiber and potassium, more potassium than even a banana. They have been cultivated for over 10,000 years. In the early 1900s, they were called alligator pears. Hass avocado is the most common and my personal favorite. Guacamole has increased avocado sale in the U.S., especially in Super Bowl Sunday and Cinco de Mayo. The rise in consumption of guacamole has increased due to the U.S. government lifting a ban on avocado imports in the 1900s and the growth of the U.S. Latino population. An easy way to get avocado out is to first slice, then scoop it out. Because polyphenol oxidase is in the cells of the avocado, exposure to oxygen in the air causes an enzymatic reaction and develops melanin pigment, turning the sauce brown. So basically, when it oxidizes, it gets all brown and mushy and it looks gross, but it still tastes good. So a lot of people will try to put a tight cover over avocado so that it doesn't get brown and mushy. In response to the New York Times publishing a recipe for guacamole that includes peas, at the time, President Barack Obama tweeted, "Respect the NYT, but not buying peas and guac. Onions, garlic, hot peppers. Classic." National Guacamole Day is celebrated on Mexican Independence Day, September 16th. On April 11th, 2013, 450 high school students in Tenciatro, Michoacan, Mexico, set the world record for largest serving of guacamole, which weighed 2,670 kilograms. The average American eats 22 to 24 pounds of tomatoes a year. Alexander Livingston, 1821 to 1898, developed the Paragon tomato in Reynoldsburg, Ohio, thus beginning the commercial use of the tomato. Tomato juice is also the official beverage of Ohio. Here, I am trying to mash the avocado just a little bit so that when I put in the tomato, it'll be a little bit easier to mix up. But I kind of got sick of trying to mash it with a fork because it kept trying to run away from me, so I started using my knife. When the tomato was introduced to Europe in the 1500s, the French called it the apple of love. In 1893, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that tomato was a vegetable and not a fruit in the case of Nix v. Hedden. Eating tomato improves vision, lowers hypertension, helps to manage diabetes, counters the bad effects of smoking, prevents gallstones, prevents urinary tract infections, reduces cholesterol levels, and protects heart, and it is also very good for digestive health. Here, I'm adding in the tomatoes, which is in this really cute little fox bowl that my mom had lying around. And then once I started mixing the tomato, I kind of sort of realized that I hadn't put in my second avocado yet, so now I'm going to put in my second avocado. There are over 10,000 varieties of tomato. These come in a variety of colors, including pink, purple, black, yellow, and white. 600,000 tomato seeds traveled to the International Space Station and back before being grown in school classrooms all over Canada as part of the Tomatosphere 1, 2, 3, and 4 experiments. Tomatoes originally came from Peru, where their Aztec name translated to plump thing with a navel. People used to be afraid to eat tomatoes, thinking them poisonous due to their relation to the belladonna, or deadly nightshade plant. The scientific name for tomato is Lycopsisum lycorsisum, meaning wolf peach. 93% of American gardeners grow tomatoes in their yards. China is the #1 producer of tomatoes around the world. The US is second. Forget the orange juice. Florida grows more tomatoes than any other state. The world's largest tomato tree was grown in the experimental greenhouse at Walt Disney World Resort. It produced over 32,000 tomatoes in the first 16 months after it was planted, and holds the record for the most tomatoes in a single year, according to the Guinness Book of World Records. New Jersey calls the tomato its state vegetable, while Arkansas uses tomatoes as both the state fruit and the state vegetable. U.S. President Ronald Reagan disliked tomatoes and is said to not have eaten one for 70 years. Over 650 million bottles of Heinz tomato ketchup are sold around the world each year with annual sales more than 1 billion pounds. In the UK, about 6 ounces of fresh tomatoes are eaten per person per week. Onions have been a part of the human diet for more than 7,000 years. Archaeologists have discovered traces of onions dating back to 5000 BC, found alongside stones from figs and dates in settlements from the Bronze Age. Most people think that cut onions are bacteria traps that can become highly poisonous after just one night, developing a toxic bacteria that could cause a stomach infection or even food poisoning. This is incorrect. It's an urban legend. And onions do not actually create a cavity for poisonous substances and germs to get stuck in. Ancient Egyptians worshipped onions, believing their spherical shape and concentric circles within symbolized eternity. In fact, onions were often placed in the burial tombs of pharaohs, as they were believed to bring out prosperity in the afterlife. Speaking of onions, you want to add in about 1/3 of a cup. In the Middle Ages, onions were an acceptable form of currency and was used to pay for rent, goods, and services, and even as gifts. Slicing onions makes most of us cry. But why is that? The reason is that cutting into it releases sulfuric acid, which reacts with the moisture in our eyes to create a tearful reaction. One way to avoid this byproduct of slicing onions is to cut them under running water or while submerged in a basin of water. Onions are rich in quercetin, a powerful flavonoid antioxidant that has been shown to have positive effects in people battling lung cancer. Onions can also be beneficial to the treatment of cataracts and even cardiovascular disease. According to the Guinness Book of World Records, the biggest onion ever grown was grown by a British farmer, Peter Glazebrook, who harvested the monster-sized onion in 2011 that weighed just under 18 pounds. Ancient Greeks thought onions could make you stronger, and they were eaten by athletes as a strength booster in the very first Olympic Games during the 1st century AD. Here I'm adding lime. You want about 2 tablespoons of lime juice. Before earning its current nickname as the Big Apple, New York City was known as the Big Onion because it was the kind of city where you could peel off layer after layer without ever reaching the core. There are a number of species of limes, including key, kaffir, dessert, sweet, and Persian. Persian is what I used here in this recipe. They are seedless and are the most commonly available at supermarkets. Although limes are a lot like lemons, they are generally more acidic. Most species of limes are believed to be native to Asia, and they were first grown extensively for financial purposes in the ancient civilization of Babylonia. once situated where modern Iran is located. In the 1800s, limes, along with lemons, were used to avoid scurvy by sailors from Britain. The next thing I'm going to use in this recipe is cilantro, also known as coriander or Chinese parsley. And as I said, here I am putting it in, and it's in this cute little hedgehog. The recipe says 1/4 of a cup, but I personally do not really like cilantro, so I'm only going to put in a small amount. Cilantro comes from Southern Europe, North Africa, and western parts of Asia. It has been around since biblical times, and references can be found in the Bible, ancient texts from China, Egypt, India, and the Roman Empire. Both the plant and the seeds are heavily used in Mexican and Indian and Middle Eastern and South Asian cuisines, but are also common in Central Asian, Mediterranean, Latin America, Chinese, African, and even Scandinavian cuisine. Cilantro was brought to the North American colonies by the English in 1670. Here I put in salt. It was pink Himalayan salt because that's my favorite, personally. And then I'm just mixing it all up. Himalayan salt is rock salt, or halite, from the Punjab region of Pakistan. It is mined at the Kwara salt mine in Kwara. Halite is used in salt lamps, which consist of a large salt crystal lit with an LED or candle inside. Most of such lamps on the market are made of colored salt rocks mined in Pakistan. The lamps give an attractive glow and are suitable for use as night lights or ambient mood lighting. Numerous claims have been made concerning salt lamps, such as air cleaning, medical benefits, ions, positive energy waves, and neutralizing electromagnetic radiation. I myself have a salt lamp, and I think they definitely help with stress.
Now, your fiesta ready.
Oh, I smell this guacamole and I haven't even opened the freaking avocado yet. It's because it's how much I associate these scents with guacamole. Have you started recording? There we go. I got it. So next, my eyes are watering from the onion. Next, we're gonna take just a bit of cilantro. That's a good amount. I really don't want to put this on.
Just a little bit makes it just right.
I wonder by the end of this video how many times I will have glared into the camera. Okay, I can't.
Oops.
I just hit my finger and went, wait, what? I didn't hit it hard. I'm fine.
Just hit go, but we're going to be editing anyway.
Okay. Now, your fiesta ready. The chip broke. You're gonna want some heavy duty chips. Oh.